Eu entendo os animais.
Eu entendo os animais. Entendo.
Eu entendo os animais. Entendo.
Not a real N there in syllable 2.
Eu entendo os animais.
How about the first one? Entendo sounds like a real N with contact and full sealing. Sealage. But entendo, this
Entendo.
one seems to color the vowel instead, this N. Somewhat like in French. I hear, understand. Entendre, the French cognate means hear, perceive with hearing. And entender in Spanish, cognate there means to understand. The animals. Who's the definite one?
Os.
Nós caminhamos.
Take me to there, please. Nós caminhamos.
Nós.
Caminho, I think. Caminho for the road, and this is a verb derived from that. What's the deal? Nós caminhamos.
Nós caminhamos.
Caminhamos. So this palatal N written nya seems to be a bit weakened as well, lenited, with incomplete closure of the oral passage.
Nós caminhamos.
And the nasal quality is
Caminhamos.
affecting the preceding E. Nós caminhamos. We walk. We are walking. Eu. Okay, it's got to be ending in O, because that agrees with subject I. I understand the animals. Eu entendo os animais.
Os meninos colocam sapatos.
Colocam. It's going to be collect, gather.
Colocam.
Put on. Huh. So it looks like the structure, the history of the
Colocam.
would be prefix cum, con, with, together with, loco, put into the same place. Is that the meaning? Colocar will be the infinitive. Colocar. Oh yeah, let's note that we're starting today with Portuguese. Colocar, here we want, yeah. Colgar, place, put, assemble, con loco, and a Latin compound, same place. So you could think of this compound, even though it's verbal, as a bahuvrihi, giving two things the same place, such that they're having the same place. Sort of bahuvrihicular, if you will. Grab the power cell real quick. Shot out there. So, os meninos, the boys. What are we saying? Put on shoes.
Os cavalos param.
They stand. The horses are standing. Param.
Param.
Stop. Halt. Horses stop.
Nós caminhamos.
Nós caminhamos. We walk, we're walking. That was a mistake. We walk.
Ele pega o chapéu.
Pega. Pays.
Pega.
Pegar. Vowel stem. Chapéu, the hat. Ele, he gets the hat.
Você trabalha.
Você trabalha. So true stop, B.
Você trabalha.
Working.
Os cavalos param.
So was it an L there? Yeah, a parallel L, Elia. Spanish, trabajar with a J in that position. And travailler, they all go back to this parallel L sound. So it would have been a voiced one at one stage of Spanish, trabajar. And that over time shifted to a ch at the back of the mouth.
Os cavalos param. Cavalos param.
They are stopped.
Os meninos colocam sapatos.
Boys put on shoes. Ela pega. She gets. Meu açúcar. My sugar.
Você trabalha.
Working. Oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, you're working. Você trabalha.
Você trabalha.
So LH means it's a lia, very light in color, kind of like a million, without that peculiar tongue shape to the L that we have for English. Trabalha.
Você trabalha.
Maybe not the same tongue shape actually. Você, eu, you, and I. It's going to be the mos form for we, coming straight down from Latin mus, caminhamos from older Indo-European, me or mo.
Ela coloca uma blusa branca.
Ela coloca uma blusa branca.
Ela coloca uma blusa branca.
Branca. So the vowel here, when it's nasal,
Branca.
Portuguese, a raises, becomes a higher vowel, so closer jaw position. Branca. Not bron, like in French, but branca, kind of like in Romanian. Coloca. This has a nice wide
Coloca.
open O there in syllable 2. She puts on a white blouse. Ela coloca uma blusa branca. Puts on. Now, o que ele fala? So it's probably I don't know. Although nothing really requires it to be entendo. But it's a good thing you might say, good sentence. I do not understand what he says. And this structure is interesting. O que ele fala is a relative clause, that which he is talking. So this whole phrase is really the object of the verb understand. It's a sentential object. No, that's not right. Sorry, scratch that. It's a nominal, it's a noun phrase, and it's headed by que. Or is it headed by a 0? The structure of this might be the sentence that we're looking at. Now, entendo. Na nasalized. Entendo. So, Peter, I wonder, is it a true N here, consonant because of the voicelessness of the T, and a weakened N because of the voicing? To the extent that's even accurate. Entendo. O que fala. Ele fala. That which he is saying. Fala. And what I'm marking with those square brackets is a noun phrase. The I part is not expressed. It's not understand. And this is the object. So, o article, and this que or ki is the relative pronoun. So there would be a spot for a noun here. So 0 for a thing that is not there. That's the head of this noun phrase. In Japanese, that's my take on it, at least. Japanese has an exactly parallel thing, but with the reverse order. Okay, I think that Spanish has it too. Loque. You have a word on either side of the gapped noun. And the meaning is, I don't understand what he says. Situation the language learner knows well.
Ele trabalha.
Ele.
Ele.
Sounds like the female name Ellie, but it means he. Ele trabalha. He works, he's working. Ela pega. Gets. She gets the shoes.
Nós caminhamos.
Nós caminhamos.
Nós caminhamos.
I think this is also somewhat nasalized.
Caminhamos.
It's got a nasal following it, even though an onset one. Caminhamos. It's not amos.
Nós caminhamos.
So all of the vowels, except the final,
Caminhamos.
are followed by a nasal, and they might all be.
Nós.
Three might be slightly nasalized.
Nós caminhamos.
Caminhamos. Nós caminhamos.
Os meninos colocam sapatos.
Colocam sapatos. It's not really an M at the end.
Colocam.
It's a weak nasal. Os meninos, the boys, put on shoes. Os meninos colocam sapatos. So that's true in menino too, all vowels but the last would be nasalized. Stick with it.
Quando Daniel volta.
Oh, welcome back to Language Institute. I'm your VerbAlly. We're starting this evening with a bit of Portuguese, the Brazilian variety. Let me know if there's anything you're curious about or want to see me do. I'm doing all the languages that are taught here. Quando Daniel volta. So this is unlike English. We have the Donald. But generally we don't put the word the before a name, but it's common in other languages. German does it. Colloquial German. Portuguese does it. I think Greek does it too. Yeah. Quando. When. Volta, return. When will, when does, Daniel return. This L in Daniel is going to be a W sound.
Quando Daniel volta.
Yeah. Because of its position, following a vowel. It's going to vocalize a bit.
Quando tu voltas.
Voltas. Maybe the tongue tip is touching it behind the teeth for la, or at the teeth, la la la. But the tongue is taking on that bunched posture, o, and the effect is really close to a w glide.
Quando tu voltas.
Voltas. You just pronounce it. Think of it as being a W. When will you return? When do you return? When do you get back? Do you come back? Yes, same meaning. So I'm gonna let them know. Not that. Forum is nice. It's good that that's there. I'm kind of avoiding it with this project. My answer should be accepted.
Ele ama os animais.
Ama. Verb agrees. It's right from Latin amat, just dropping the final.
Animais.
The animals. He loves the animals. So maybe we could just say animals too. Yeah. Not really a definite noun phrase. Animals in general.
Quando tu voltas.
Voltas. When we return. Quando tu voltas.
Elas trazem 2 cavalos.
Trazer. Elas. So feminine plural. Dois cavalos is 2 horses.
Trazem.
Bring. So I bet it's cognate with English transducer. Trazer. Cognate means that word forms in different languages are inherited from the same source. Trazer, just like trazer will be the spelling. Trazer. I think traz reflects the positional word trans in Latin, across. And the ze is, oh, we need a final R for the infinitive. Oh, tragere, trahare, a derivative of the pull root. Never mind. Also cool. So an H or a G. Yeah, tragere. Okay, cool. Here with the voice stop. Interesting interchange. Trahare in the root verb, from which we have, extract, tractor, and all those guys. To drag is cognate. So
Trazem.
they bring. They're dragging. Bring 2 horses.
Ele não anda de cavalo.
I wonder what other words are descended from this. So star there, the asterisk means it's not attested directly in this language as this form. It's reconstructed based on what the modern languages or the descendant branches preserve. Trago, reconstructed. And sometimes it lists the descendant words, but not here, unfortunately. Latin entry contains reconstructed words and roots. As such, the terms are not directly attested, witnessed, but are hypothesized to have existed based on comparative evidence. This means looking across different dialects or different related languages. Because languages at all times and places are very slowly changing. Words being replaced, new forms of expressions arise and die out over time. Styles change, pronunciations shift. Ele não anda, this is a verb of walking, going. De cavalo, he does not go of horse. He doesn't go, I'll say, by horse. And there's no article with the word horse. Does not ride horses. Not the form again. The flag, not the speech bubble, please.
Ele ama os animais.
He
Animais.
os animais is the verb phrase. He loves animals. Ele ama os animais. Oh, don't sorry. Good to see you. Welcome. So I just had a thought about, what was it? I just dropped a thought from my brain. Oh, but I had an idea about this uke. We're doing Portuguese now. This corresponds exactly to Spanish. Loque. That which. And so we have the sentence, não entendo o que. This is a zero, so nothing. O que ele fala. I don't understand what he says. So it's a transitive verb to X understands Y. Negative. No subject is named. It's just, okay, you get that part. Now, the object of this thing, is it a sentence? I said momentarily that for a moment that it was a sentence, but I realized it's not. It's a noun phrase with a relative clause in it and a zero head noun. There where a noun would be, you've got a gap. So it's true for loque. In Spanish and French has que, a different pointing, a different deictic here, but the same idea. Que introducing a relative. They all mean that which. So we could translate, I do not understand that which he says. So our that in English is quite close. It's related to our article, but it's distinct from it. Now, what was my thought about ele ama os animais? Oh, I noted also, Levi, that
Animais.
in Portuguese you might get
Animais.
nasalization in a case like this too. So going further than French, even if that nasal is the coda of a following syllable, you can get a bit of nasal anticipatory assimilation happening.
O pato segue a tartaruga.
Pato is duck. Segue a tartaruga. The duck follows. A tartaruga is the turtle. So segue is interesting. It's, of course, from Latin sequor, sequi. So the active meaning but passive endings in the Latin verb called the deponent. In Portuguese, it's just shifted over to the regular active endings. Probably already in like vulgar Latin, proto-Romance.
O menino desculpa a menina.
Desculpa. Menino, the boy, excuses, forgives.
Desculpa.
Different thing from excusing. It's a compound. Disculpa, so putting guilt away. German entschuldigen has the same basic idea. It's also a compound. Well, not quite a compound because ent doesn't exist as an independent word. Don't know if it ever did. But a complex verb anyway. Morphologically complex. Forgives a menina, the girl. Both definite. Desculpa or desculpa?
O menino desculpa a menina.
Desculpa. So des is not the tonic syllable, but it's still strong enough. I think we've got 3 degrees of stress, at least, for Portuguese. The middle degree here on syllable 1, the weakest at the end. Desculpa.
O menino desculpa a menina.
Desculpa. With the L quite darkened, if even there. Desculpa a menina.
Ele não anda de cavalo.
Ele não
anda
de
de cavalo.
Go by horse, basically meaning ride a horse. So an intransitive one, where our verb to ride is transitive. Not ride horses. Ele não anda
Ele não anda de cavalo.
de cavalo. Note how the nasal A is different from the basic one. It's a raised vowel, and how that's different from the French nasal on.
Ela ama vinho.
Ela ama. So listen to the first A in the verb here.
Ela ama vinho.
Ama is also nasalized and raised. Ama vinho.
Ela ama vinho.
Vinho. I
Vinho.
suspect this E is also nasalized, but I can't really hear it. But it's clearer here.
Ama.
She loves wine.
Ele traz o pão.
Traz was bring. Literally the same word as drag. Historically, you're connected to it. He brings the bread. Ele traz o pão. Traz pão.
O homem segue a mulher.
The man follows the woman. This is not a preposition, but the article the. O homem segue a mulher. Segue.
O homem segue a mulher.
Sounds mid-open there. No, so stress, primary, secondary, and none, just like English. That's my take at the moment, yeah.
Elas trazem 2 cavalos.
So that too, that and the darkened L, right? The characteristic one of Portuguese. Make it kind of very close to American English in those peculiarities. Elas trazem 2 cavalos. They bring 2 horses. Elas trazem 2 cavalos.
Ele segue o homem.
He follows the man. Ele segue o homem.
O homem anda.
Man goes. O homem anda. Walks.
O menino desculpa a menina.
Okay, so really walk of horse is to ride. O menino desculpa a menina. The boy forgives the girl. O menino desculpa a menina.
Quando tu voltas,
When we return.
Ele não anda de cavalo.
Ele não anda de cavalo. He doesn't. Wow, cool.
Vịt. Gấu. Mèo. Gấu. Vịt.
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 Chó.
Open mid.
Gấu.
Gấu.
Con vịt ăn.
Con vịt ăn. So, con is the classifier. We'll say the. Vịt duck. Ăn eats.
Nó là một con bò.
Nó là một con bò. Pointing word. This.
Nó.
It is one classifier.
Bò.
Oh, cool. Just like Scottish. It is a cow. Nó là một con bò.
Nó là một con bò.
It's really inclusive.
Nó là một con bò.
Nó là một con bò.
Đứa trẻ có một con thỏ.
Is two. D implosive. Sucking air in.
Đứa, một.
Trẻ.
Đứa trẻ có một con thỏ.
Có is to have.
Có.
Child has one.
Đứa trẻ có một con thỏ.
Một con thỏ.
Thỏ.
Rabbit. Oh, this could be Chinese. And look, it's got
Thỏ.
bunny ear. Just one. Đứa trẻ. Đứa trẻ. Oh. Yeah, we have to say a child. Có has một con thỏ. One rabbit.
Con rắn uống nước trà.
Con rắn uống nước trà.
Con.
So it's drink. No. Nước, I guess, water. So drink water, tea.
Trà. Nước.
Drink water, tea. So tea, I think. Rắn.
Rắn.
Snake. Oh, the snake drinks tea.
Con. Con rắn uống nước trà.
Uống nước trà. All those have the rising tone. Those three together.
Con rắn uống nước trà.
So this is for the repeated melody there.
Con rắn uống nước trà.
Con rắn uống nước trà. Con rắn uống nước trà.
Con rắn uống nước trà.
Bạn có một con rắn.
Bạn
có một con
rắn.
Rắn.
Means you have one snake.
Con thỏ.
Con thỏ, the rabbit.
Chúng tôi có một con vịt.
Chúng tôi có một con vịt. This is plural.
Chúng.
We have a con vịt is a duck.
Gấu và thỏ.
Gấu và thỏ.
Và
gấu và thỏ. Just bears and rabbits. Or bear and rabbit.
Con bò.
Bò, the cow. Bò.
Con rắn kia là một động vật.
Con rắn kia là một động vật.
Con rắn kia là một động vật.
Kia là một động vật.
Con rắn kia là một động vật.
Con rắn kia là một động vật.
Con rắn kia là một động vật.
Động vật. Con rắn, the snake. Kia. So
Kia.
That snake. Or those snakes. La is. So note that there's no classifier here. R is giving a Z sound, and that's also true of the sequence GI. Oh, there's also a D. The unmodified letter D gives a Z sound, at least sometimes. Z or Y, depending on dialect, maybe depending on word. So, zắn, con rắn.
Con rắn kia là một động vật.
Kia is the subject noun phrase, 3 words. Classifier, noun, determiner maybe? Pointing word. La, to be. One, and no classifier here for animal. It's as if dong were the classifier, maybe. Or it's its own thing. Also makes sense it's an abstract thing and not a thing you can touch, the concept animal. You can touch an individual one, a snake, but harder to find a suitable classifier for the whole set of animals.
Cô ấy có những con bò.
Cô ấy có những con bò.
Con.
Những. Okay, pluralizing. Plural marker, then the classifier, then the head noun. Cô ấy means she. Or right? The girl?
Ấy.
The cows.
Con thỏ ăn cơm và uống nước.
Con thỏ ăn cỏ và uống nước. Eats rice.
Và cơm.
Rice kernel. Cơm.
Con thỏ ăn cơm và uống nước.
Và uống nước. So the rabbit eats rice and uống nước, drinks water. I like to have a bear. Like to. Okay. Tôi thích có một con gấu. Tôi thích có một con gấu. That snake. Hey, I can't remember that word, but it's con rắn. Kia là một động vật. Con rắn kia là một động vật. And again, động vật for animal means a moving thing. And it's these characters. H, G, K, S. So you can type along with me on this website to retrieve the characters. KS, Tung, H, Q, P, H, H. Ooh, Tung. And since it's such a short expression here, if we switch over to this green lookup one, it's the express version of the same thing. Just the first and last of each of those keys. So H to S, and then H to H. H, S, H, H. There it is, first one. 4 keystrokes for 2 characters. Not bad, I think. Tough to beat. Turtle.
vịt,
Chim. Rùa.
rùa, vịt,
Chim.
Chim's the higher tone in the unmarked one. Low tone in vịt.
Tôi là một con chim.
Tôi là một con chim. I am a bird.
tôi thích con chuồn chuồn này.
Tôi thích con chuồn chuồn này.
Tôi thích con chuồn chuồn này.
So this is all a noun phrase, classifier, deictic. I want the
Chuồn
and it's gonna be this.
này.
I want this like, thích, yeah. Want, muốn.
Bạn là một con heo.
Bạn là một con heo.
Heo.
You are a pig.
Hẹn gặp lại, cá sấu.
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 Hẹn.
See you.
Xấu.
Alligator. Hẹn gặp lại. Hen might be seeing. This one looks a lot like it. Be you. There. Cool. Oh, so the I, mu, is also going to be you, right? There it is. Luan. What these all have in common is that in their breakdown, you've got a moon first, moon shape, and then this mountain shape last. That's shared by all. Not a bad way to sort characters. So some quite different ones, but here the moon shape is the outer one. And you, the mountain on the bottom. Most of these others, the mountain ends the right side. Pretty cool. See you later, alligator.
Cá sấu. Cá. Sấu.
Rồng.
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 Okay, this is Chinese. So let me picture the dragon character. It starts with a Y, ends with a P. There it is. The only one. The only YP. So, oh no, that's not true. How did it? Anyways, this third one.
Con chuồn chuồn.
Con chuồn chuồn, the dragonfly. So a reduplicated syllable for this noun.
Tôi là một con rùa.
Tôi là một con rùa. I am a turtle.
Con chim.
Con chim, the bird.
Con chuồn chuồn ăn táo.
An táo eats an apple. It's apples. The dragonfly. It's apples.
Rùa và thỏ.
Rùa và thỏ. Turtle and rabbit. Tortoise and the hare.
Con cá sấu ăn tôi.
Con cá sấu ăn tôi. The two syllable animal.
Con.
Ăn tôi eats me. Eating me. Eating me. And the word dân. Levi asks. On the word Zun snake, I think I will call the accent mark Chandra Egu. Egu. Please do.
Con heo.
Con heo is hail. What was hail? Pig.
Chúng tôi có những con heo.
Chúng tôi có những con heo. Plural pigs. Chúng tôi also plural, so chúng những they almost rhyme, different vowels, different tones.
Chúng tôi có những con heo.
Chúng tôi có những con heo means we, it's the subject, có have, plural pigs. I wonder if it would also be the pigs.
Tôi thích con chuồn chuồn này.
Tôi thích con chuồn chuồn này. This dragonfly means I like this dragonfly.
Con cá sấu ăn tôi.
Con cá sấu ăn tôi. The alligator. The problem with this English sentence is the simple present implies repeated action. How can the alligator repeatedly eat me? Maybe if I keep getting reincarnated. Okay, problem solved. Horse.
Chuột.
Chuột.
Voi.
Voi.
Ngựa.
Ngựa for the horse. Good one. Ngựa. I'm reminded of Swift's made-up word for the sentient horse race, Winham. Ngựa.
Ngựa.
Elephant. Voi.
Voi.
Voi. Okay, the unmarked O is the mid-open. Voi.
Chuột.
Chuột.
Ngựa.
Ngựa.
Voi.
Voi. A lower tone with the subscript dot vowels. Any good names for those? The bullet below. The below bullet. And the unmarked tone there is much higher.
Con ngựa ăn cơm và uống nước.
Con ngựa ăn cơm và uống nước. Con ngựa. That would be what? So ngựa, that's the horse. The horse eats rice and drinks Water.
Ngựa,
Ngựa.
voi,
Voi.
chuột,
Chuột.
Con khỉ cắn tôi.
Con khỉ cắn tôi is biting me. Does something.
Khỉ
Monkey. The monkey.
cắn khỉ.
So it has that ear shape on it that we saw in the rabbit word. It's superficially similar to the Tibetan one for dog, which is ki, K-H-Y-I, chi. But the monkey, cắn tôi, bites me.
Cậu bé có một con khỉ.
Cậu bé có
Cậu bé có một con khỉ.
khỉ Wheeler means the boy. Yeah. Cậu bé has one monkey.
con trâu và con bò là động vật.
Let me just listen here.
Con trâu và con bò là động vật.
Con bò là động vật are animals.
Con trâu và con bò là động vật.
So animal one and the cow are animals. So the sentence means
Và trâu,
buffalo and cow are animals.
Cậu bé có một con khỉ.
Cậu bé có một con khỉ. The boy has a monkey.
Con voi uống sữa.
Con voi uống sữa. The elephant drinks. Sữa.
Sữa. Mèo và chuột.
Mèo và chuột. Cat and mouse.
Những con voi.
Những con voi. Elephants, plural. With this very interesting placement of the plural marker at the beginning.
Con ngựa.
Con ngựa. Con ngựa is the buffalo. Close, the horse. Ngựa.
khỉ,
He, the monkey. Sounds like a falling tone.
chuột thích cơm.
Chuột thích cơm. The mouse likes rice.
Con voi là động vật.
Con voi là động vật. Động vật. The elephant is an animal.
Con trâu uống nước.
Con trâu uống nước. Trâu. That's the buffalo. Uống nước. Drinks water.
Con ngựa.
Con ngựa. The horse. Careful with the word buffalo. When I was in India, says Levi, they called an animal buffalo that was clearly not a bison. Good to know. Let's look up the animal name. Zhao. I forget the tone mark though. But for that kind of thing, Google Translate is splendid. Okay, just an umbrella is all that the A wears. Oh, you know, this is gonna have... Here we go. This is one. A water buffalo, as opposed to a ba, yellow southern bovine. Trâu trắng, albino water buffalo. Be careful with that buffalo word.
Ela perde as suas chaves.
Ela perde.
Ela perde as suas chaves.
How is the R pronounced here? It sounds like it might just be a lengthening of the D.
Ela perde as suas chaves.
Let's see. Perde as suas chaves. By D, I mean a J here. She loses her keys. And suas
Chaves.
this occurs an adjective, unlike English.
Nós jogamos com os cavalos.
Jogamos.
Nós jogamos com os cavalos.
Can't tell if it's jo or g that's accented.
Nós jogamos com os cavalos.
Com os cavalos. We play with the horses.
Nós jogamos com eles.
Nós jogamos, nasalized A, com eles. We play with them. The M is not com eles. It's a Indian style weakened M. Speaking of your Chandra Egu, the acute moon. Nós jogamos com eles.
Ele pergunta.
Pergunta. Okay. Derived from a noun, I think. In Portuguese, used as a verb, he asks. He questions.
Ele esquece a capa.
Esquece. Think of sketch.
Esquece.
Yet. A capa. The
Capa.
He forgets the cape.
Ele perde as cartas.
Ele perde as cartas. He loses the letters. Ele perde as cartas. Written letters.
Eles mudam.
They change. Mutare. Yep. Preserved from Latin. Oh, hi. Fulgent unicorn. Rating a party of one. Welcome, party of one. Thanks for joining. What languages are you most interested in? I'm, bit by bit, learning them all here.
Ela ganha o cinto.
At the moment, Portuguese. Ela ganha o cinto. She wins the belt.
Cinto. Ganha.
She gets, gains.
Eles mudam você.
Okay, eles mudam você. Okay, transitive verb here. Eles, they.
Eles mudam.
It's got to be with the nasal for the plural. Você.
Você.
Você. Okay, that's what the circumflex is telling me. I merely learned Spanish. Have you looked at Catalan at all? Or Portuguese even? You'll recognize a lot, if not most of it. They change you. So does Spanish have mudar as a verb? Meaning change? This one, no. Looks like to change. Yeah, so in Spanish and Portuguese both, the single T in Latin, mutare, has weakened to a D. It's voiced. Become a voiced.
Ele perde as cartas.
Okay. What would you be most curious about learning and seeing a little of? I don't want to bore you with stuff you already know. I'm still in most of the courses in pretty early stages. What's one you've always kind of wanted to start? Levi says used to cambiar for change. Yeah, that's right. You don't see mudar much. Half of something I think this is weird Spanish. Right. It's the benefit of having closely related languages. How about Italian? Have you looked at that any? I look over there because that's where it's convenient to read, but of course you'll be seeing me through the camera. On an intellectual level, I know that. Ele perde as cartas. So yeah, let's focus in on the differences between Portuguese and Spanish while we're here. Ele is el, a single syllable in Spanish for he. What's to lose? So perder, right? Perde would be pretty similar. But the final, okay, so in Portuguese, I have a tiny bit of Klingon. Why not? It counts. It's fun. We can do some of that if you like. little bit nerdy, but there's nothing wrong with being nerdy. I mean, this is really my idea for this project, for this channel. What I'm doing here is kind of nerd heaven. This is what I have in mind. So in Portuguese, you have, as written letters, you're going to have an E or a letter E or O or A at the end of a word, right? But as far as sound, they get raised. If it's an unstressed syllable, it's going to sound like E, U, these guys. And final A is really going to be a schwa sound. So here's the written letters, but here's how they actually sound. IPA symbols. That's my pronunciation secret. It's going to open up some of the weirdness of Portuguese. Another important point is that if you have, right, so written letters, it'll be a de, de, but if it's in a weak position, which it usually is, that e changes to e, it raises, we say, and that in turn colors this consonant. It's going to sound like G. Here's the IPA symbol for it. This is an affricate D followed by a J giving J. G is the sound most of the time. Not whenever those two letters are together, but for the preposition. We don't have it here, but we might have
Perde.
perdi.
Perde.
Right? It's not perde, as it would be written. It probably was sounded that way centuries ago, but it's now shifted a little bit. Ele perde, and that's an important difference to Spanish. He loses. Okay, and that definite article, it's lost its L in Portuguese. Not las, as in Spanish, from illas in Latin, but as. He loses the letters. Gotta love the schwa, indeed. Gotta be like schwa, because it is never stressed. It's one we strive to emulate.
Nós jogamos com os cavalos.
Nós jogamos com os cavalos. And note that the M is not completely sealed, right? Not with sealed lips. Com. It's weakened. So it won't sound like
Com
a moose.
cavalos.
Not com os cavalos, but com os cavalos.
Nós jogamos com os cavalos.
Com os cavalos. Nasalized. Happening
Com.
with vowel and no longer a true nasal consonant there. We play with the horses. Again, definite Spanish los, but Portuguese os. Nos jogamos com os cavalos. Nos.
Ela não pergunta o que eu quero.
Here's that o que structure again. Hashtag goals. Yeah. Very much. Are you in the US or another English-speaking country? Where are you from? We're here in Dallas, Texas area. Levi and I associate, who's watching and commenting. Ela não pergunta. She doesn't ask o que eu quero. So we have this modified sentence
Quero.
embedded here in the noun phrase at the end. And it means she doesn't ask. She doesn't ask what I want. O que is like lo que in Spanish and ce que in French. Midwest, USA. Doesn't ask what I want. Yeah, that which. O que eu quero. She doesn't ask that which I want. Sounds really weird in English for some reason. So we'll use a single word what to express that. She doesn't ask what I want.
Ele ganha a garrafa.
Gets the, and this was like a bottle, some sort of liquid,
Garrafa.
like our word carafe. Ele ganha a garrafa. Double R, I think at one point was a uvular r, but in Portuguese it's shifted to a most of the time.
Ele ganha a garrafa.
Garrafa. Single R not, that's still a r, depending on position. Double R, as in Spanish, it's a different phoneme, different sound. Possibly.
Eles mudam.
I guess, what do you think, Levi? In Portuguese, this weakened double R would really be a separate phoneme. You can't regard that as a long trill. Eles mudam, they change. Oh, I said it, didn't I? Okay, should pay closer attention. Carafe, oh, for a beverage holder, temporary, like you might find on a table. Yeah, I believe that's a spelling. So, Good shot there. Maybe a singular. There is a page, carafe. Let us go to there. Carafa. Cup or dipper. Singular, single F. But you were close. Here's a carafe, this thing. First attested 1786. French carafe, Italian carafa. Ghurfa in Arabic. Cup or dipper from gharafa. Gharaf. What would it be? Gharafat. Still trying to get those A variants of Arabic. Bottle, usually glass, and with a flared lip. There you go. Used for serving water, wine, or other beverages. Glass pot with a spout for pouring. Used for both serving coffee and as a receptacle during the brewing process. A carafe. What are we on? That's 7 of 9. Let's do some Klingon. Been a while. So one of the sources of inspiration for Klingon was Tibeto-Burman languages, I believe. That may have been something that Akrand worked on. Yep, been a while since we touched it. And I just love the odd word order that was chosen for it.
Mushuk whatev torje.
Verb first here. Followed by a conjoined subject. This is Worf and Torg, two names. Mushuk. Worf and Torg, we can go ahead and put. Subject first in English. Is it, oh, mush may be reciprocal. Hate each other.
Mushuk.
So I think chuk would be the root. When mush
Mushuk.
Cool. By the way, were you there, Levi, when I looked up this word reciprocal, where it comes from? The English word? It's kind of cool. Ol, of course, adjective suffix. This is re, que, back, pro, que, back and forth, back and forward, backward and forward, kind of, is the phrase that it's thought to derive from. This may have had a D, redque. Don't know. But this key is just a weakening of the que enclitic. Same for this K sound.
Shuvchuk kalish molor je.
Kalis and molor. Shuv. Okay, no, it's a suffix. Chuk is the reciprocal, and shuv, root initial here, fought each other. Tense is not marked on the Klingon verb. Mush is hate. Yep, yeah, you got it. Is hate, and chuk is the reciprocal. You have a good memory. That is right. So you got person marking with prefixes, but then this other kind with a suffix. So for third person, it is a zero prefix. I wonder if you would have like second person marking combined with the reciprocal.
Klingon puk fok whatev.
Vok would be the verb, and it's object first, verb subject. Trust the woke. And put pluralizes. Worf trusts Klingon. Maybe I'll use the keyboard instead. A little too easy with just those options.
Vuvchuk shuvwipu.
Vuv, each other. The shuvwit is warrior, right?
Vuvchuk.
Okay. Warriors respect any tense each other. So vuv makes me think of uwu. And we can just associate that with respect. Respect my uwu. Chuk. So a challenging one to name, a challenging suffix is pu. I want to say human plural, but of course they're not human.
Vuvchuk.
They respect each other. As in many Earth languages, a verb on its own can be a complete sentence. They respect each other is that vuvchuk.
Morach vok kalish. Vok.
Woke. Okay, I also invoke. You invoke the one you trust. careless. Trusts. Morat. Do we have a special spelling?
Morat.
Morat. Worf trusts Martok. Vok Woriv. Martak. Martak Vok Woriv.
Mushchuk Dorash Gauranje.
Mushchuk. Okay, so it's Duras and Gauron hate each other. Martok and Gauron respect each other. Vuvchuk. Martak. Gauranje. Worf and Torg hate each other. Mushchuk. Vorif Torg Je. The Klingons fight one another. Fight is Shuv, is it? Shuv. Shuvchuk. Klingon Po. Is it LH? Or is it HL? LH. Oh yeah, speaking of. Kalis and Molor fought each other. Shivchuk. Shuvchuk, right? Yeah. To shove each other. Eilish. Molor. J.
Divit pitch torg.
Divit is the Federation. Torg, and the verb is
Pitch.
planes. So I think it's important to note, even though there's no prefix here, that lack of a thing there has a grammatical value, namely third person. Torg blames or blamed. The Federation.
Khub Kalish.
Hub Egg. Himself
Goed erg.
defends himself. With the verb following. Defends himself.
Goed erg.
Killed himself.
Goed erg.
Close.
Goedzoek. Kalish lukaratje.
Chuk. Kalish. Lukhara. Two names. Yes, they admire each other. This one's kill.
Khokchuk.
Kalis and Lucara
Lukara.
admire each other.
Titchuk. Hokme.
Chuk. Hokme.
Titchuk.
The robots.
Kokme.
Robots repair each other. Titchuk. Okay, for repair, I can think of TI, Texas Instruments. Titchuk. May. May and non-animate, plural, I think.
Divit lupich shuvwipu.
Lupich. Okay, pitch for the verb and prefix.
Lupich.
They blame it. So loop tells me third plural agent. Lupich. what's it? Blame. Yeah. They blame it. And lu means third plural agent acting upon third singular. It expresses that combination with a single marker in a transitive verb. Shuvwipu, that's warriors. Blame the Federation. Okay, so the pu,
Shuvwipu.
the lu together, they're showing the plurality. Duras blamed Moog. Moog pitch Durash. Here, a zero prefix tells me, let's put this one above. Zero means, that's the form chosen if it's third singular on third singular. Grammatically distinct from this. This one has a sound with it. This one happens not to, and it's probably also going to be the most common for the odd nature of the Klingon corpus.
Titchuk Kokme.
Titchuk.
Titchuk Kokme.
Robots repair each other. The robot will defend itself. It's going to have egg on there. Yeah. Hub egg. 1 second. Hub egg. Lukara. Chaos and Lukara admire each other. And that's hop is the root. Each other. Chuk. Kailish. Lukara. J. The robots repair each other. Tick. Chuk. Robots Kokme. In beta. That's nice. Beta. Let's do a bit of Italian. You said you had done that, right? Oh, I won't be able to tell. The question's not there. Or, tell you what, let's do some Latin. You might also recognize a lot here. Now, for the case system of Latin, I'll give you a quick overview of what there is. We might not even see much case in this lesson. Nom, short, nominative. The main function is to mark the subject. Forgive me if you know this already, but for anyone who might not. Accusative. It's nothing to do with accusing, really. It's just a label. Dative. Person to whom something is given or shown or told, etc. Ablative, I'll list that next. Primary thing it shows is source, from where, from which. And then, on somewhat different footing, are these two, genitive, possessor, and vocative. They're sometimes distinct grammatical forms, but they're not used for noun phrases that are really true nouns in the syntax of the sentence. This vocative is used for an addressee when speaking to a thing. Teacher. If I'm using the word teacher to call my teacher, that's a vocative use of a noun. Hey, you would be one. Okay, work is our unit. The letter, let's talk about English derivatives from the Latin words, as well as in Romance languages. Latin is the mother of all those the daughter languages, of which we have 5 or 6 up here on Duolingo. Edificium, a building. Pictor, we have edifice from this root. Pictor, from this agent noun specifically, maybe not much, but picture is related, and pigment, depict, and or for an agent. Or tor, not sure what you would say there. Epistula, borrowed from Greek. Epi is a verbal prefix. Stello, the verb root to send. Epi is like upon. Painter, pictor. Edificium, epistula, pictor.
Multas epistulas scribo.
I write. So by the verb, that's I. You'll recognize the O. And then multas epistulas. Same ending. Feminine, accusative plural. Right? Many, multas, muchas. Epistulas, letters. So we have the word epistles, like the Bible books. Epistolary style. Multas, we have multitude. Spanish is mucho, mucha. Multi as a combining word, multiply.
Histriones non cocunt.
Histriones, I think, comes from Etruscan originally. We have it in histrionic, means actors. Non cocunt, they do not cook. We have our word cook, the noun and the verb, from this Latin source. Coquus, coquere.
Tabellarium non habemus.
Okay, non habemus, we do not have. The mus, similar to Spanish and Portuguese verb endings for we subject. What's this? Letter carrier. We don't have a letter carrier. Tabella would mean a small table, tablet. Tabula. I think it would be called diminutive, the form derived meaning a small one. Let's look that up. Tabella. Small board, table, tablet. Diminutive suffix tabula la, giving tabella. Maybe a little more to that story.
Duae picturae sunt in edificio.
It's not the word painters with the tur or ur suffix. It's an abstract or a product noun. Duae, 2 pictures. Now the word order, since there's no object here, verb comes next, are, and then a prepositional phrase. In the building. 2 pictures are in the building.
Quod pistores panem faciunt.
Levi says, of the epistulas is like, have you heard of an epistolary novel? I have indeed. It is a book where the story is told through a series of letters. Ita est. So it is. It is true. Pistores is a noun parallel to the pictor, but a different root. It means bakers. Quot, how many, as in quotient. I don't know of any derivatives of this pistor. Panem faciunt. Panem, accusative case for the object, bread, pão, etc. Pan. Faciunt, they make it. How many bakers make bread?
Vir aeger in edificio coquit.
You can safely say all of them in answer to the last question. Vir aeger, the sick man. Man first. Vir as in virile. For aiger, I don't know of any English derivatives, meaning sick. Coquit, that there at the end means he cooks. The sick man cooks in edificio, in a building. Quo
crustulum portas?
These two things, quo and crustulum, are not in a phrase together. You can sort of tell from the endings, although just because two things might have endings that look the same doesn't mean that grammatically they are the same. It's a pretty complex sets of endings for Latin. Quo means to where, or where. Crustulum is singular, portas, you carry it. Where are you taking the cookie?
Pistor panem facit.
Baker. Subject, nominative, pistor, with no ending further. Panem facit, makes bread. Facere.
Fuck it.
French faire. Italian fare. Spanish hacer. Portuguese fazer, I think. All from this one.
Quot coquitis?
I wonder if pastry and pâtisserie are from pistor somehow. Quot coquitis. How many? Here with no noun attached to it. Coquitis, plural, you cook. How many people?
Pictores pingunt.
Painter's gonna paint. Now, this is pretty interesting. Pictores. These two words are related, but the verb form and the noun form diverge a little bit. By the way, capital letters were not part of Latin writing. There was no upper and lower case. The meaning is painters paint. These English words are related, in fact related to the Latin too. The root, we would say, is the verb root for paint is pig. Before a voiceless T, it devoices to a K sound, written with the letter C, and there's a nasal infix. You can sometimes use these brackets for that. This is not the basic form, but it's a derived form of the root pig. We have this directly in pigment. The animal name pig is not connected to this. So Latin had a nasal infix in a dozen or so, a couple dozen verb roots. Victor and invincible are related by nasal infixation.
Tabellarii epistulas portant.
Subject, the letter carriers. Portant, they carry or take. And the object in the accusative, epistulas, letters.
Pictor agricolam in pictura pingit.
A lot of nouns here. Nominative, so it's good to look at the verb, get an idea of what the sentence is going to be about. Someone is painting something. A he, she, it is the subject. In pictura is a phrase, in a picture. So that's in an ablative case. That's what is combined with in this meaning. Agricolam is the direct object. The accusative tells me that. And a nominative participant for the subject. The painter paints. The verb next in English. Agricolam looks feminine, but it's masculine. A farmer. In pictura. This one is feminine. In the picture. Could say in his picture. A picture.
Tabellarius epistulas multas portat.
Subject tabellarius. Object epistulas multas. The word order was a bit freer. Levi says, I thought only capital letters. Well, since there is only the one set, they weren't necessarily what we would call capitals. They looked like our capitals. But the term capital would have been meaningless to it. Lowercase developed based on the style of the monks' handwriting. Monks and nuns, perhaps? I don't know. Whoever wrote. It was a small set of people, but yeah. And the distinction developed later, too. In a one-tier system like that, it wouldn't make sense to talk about Arabic capital letters, right? It's just the one level of it. But a Chinese parallel would be the old seal and older forms. how they relate to modern standard forms. They're ancestral to them, but graphically quite distinct sometimes. So, singular subject here, the letter carrier. Epistulas multas portat, carries many letters. Looters. And to prove what I'm talking about, if you look at old inscriptions from Rome, ones that are 2,000 or so years old, there were no lowercase forms. It's all the uppercase shapes. But as I said, the term uppercase was meaningless at the time. Could not have existed. How many bakers bake bread? So the only systems that do that capital lowercase distinction are really Cyrillic, Greek, Roman alphabet ones. Am I forgetting any? So the ones derived from Greek, essentially. How many bakers? Quot is an invariant form, only that. And then the bakers are the subject, they're doing the thing. So say pistores, nominative plural. You just have to remember your noun classes, and they're really conveniently sorted by what is the last kind of sound in the stem. R is a consonant, the nominative plural will be ace there. If it's a vowel final stem, it's a different ending. To express the same meaning, the same grammatical category. And now we want to add that they bread bake. Panem, just singular in an abstract meaning. And we'll say faciunt for they make it. The painter paints a farmer in the picture. Pictor. We'll put the direct object next. Agricolam, compound word, the field tiller. Field cultivator. Agricolam, and then in the picture, in pictura, ablative, and finally the verb pingit, present tense with nasal infix. And we'll round it off. Coquus for the cook. Looks like miles, miles, kibus, coquus. Coquus, kibus, miles.
Quis est poeta?
Both of these. Est is an intransitive verb, it's to be, and it needs something with it, but that thing is not an object, so it's in the same case as the subject. Who is a poet? Quis who, I guess we have it in our word quiz. Not an inquisitive, that's a different root. Est and is are related words. Poeta is from Greek. Also looks feminine, but it's masculine. The a ending is almost exclusively for feminine nouns, but not quite exclusively. We have a small set of exceptions. Agricola is a native Latin word. Poeta is from Greek. So, coquus, miles, kibus, food. Do we have anything from this in English? Italian cibo, the food. Don't think so.
Cocus multos cibos velit.
He would like to cook. For just once it would be vult, I think related, but a different form. The cook would like multos cibos, many foods.
Carmina scribimus.
The verb tells us we write. Carmina can mean songs, but here probably
Quot cibos emitis?
caveat emptor is a nice Latin short simple sentence. Imperative, not imperative, subjunctive verb first also, because it's pragmatically important. Emptor, an agent noun. And so Levi, how do we connect emitis means you plural by upi. So the root, I would say, ends with M, the verb root. And this caveat emptor means let the buyer beware. Emptor is buyer, agent noun. Why is there P here but not here? a Latin, like legal principle, maybe. Common law. It's on you as the buyer not to buy undesirable things. Quot kibos, how many foods? We'll put here in English too the object first. How many foods? Emitis do you buy?
Ubi panem emis?
I think it may have been a short A. Kibble for dog food is from kibus. Good call. Good eye. Good dog. Emis also the singular you buy. Emere. SG for singular you buy. What is the P again in this? Emptor. Where do you buy bread?
Milites bene pugnatis.
Soldiers, warriors. This is evocative. Fight well. You fight well. Oh, it's not the imperative. It's indicative. The vowel is there, so we don't need one. Emptor would have the cluster MT, which must not be allowed, so it's excrescent was the word I'm looking for. Well, it might be allowed elsewhere, but it just naturally develops. Yeah, right. The P is a transitional sound. We do it in English too, synchronically and historically. In a word like Hampton, that comes from ham, which means home, and tune, town, or enclosed area. So the same components also give our word hometown. So in the older compounded word, where it's become opaque, P has developed. The name Frampton is a cool one because it just means from town, from the city. Framtune. That one with an oblique form of the noun. I'll put it in Middle English spelling. From the town. So a few English names that look like, that have apparent cran morphs like that, are really just prepositional phrases. Attenborough means living at the city, a habitation name. The borough. Atwood, living at the forest. So maybe at the edge of the thing, at the edge of the city, edge of the forest. What else is there? I know of an up church. Is there at church? In church? Anyway. Nothing to do with the excrescent consonant there, but the Frampton reminded me of these other prepositional names.
Milites in Italia non pugnant.
Warriors or soldiers don't fight, like box. In Italy. Cool story. Pugnant, I think we have it in repugnant. Also the root pugn in impugn. Pugnacious. Milites, like military, that's right. That's kind of a cool noun class too. So miles, question for you, Levi, and anyone else watching. What is the stem in this noun? Miles, genitive militis, these were the common citation forms in a dictionary. Plural milites, all forms of the word for soldier. And we get our word military from this root. So, where does the end, in each of these three cases, and there's others, these three inflected forms that I've chosen, there's a stem plus an ending. Where does the ending begin? And where does the stem end in those? Use a dash or a plus sign to show the boundary.
Milites, bene pugnatis.
Fight well. Well do you fight? Soldiers, you fight well.
Quoquus cibum facit.
The cook, nominative. Facit makes. Cibum, food.
Mercatores olivas vendunt.
Same question about the noun stem? Okay, well, might help to stack them. If we just look at the lower two, leave out miles, the nominative singular, let's label these as well. First one is nominative singular. It's a masculine noun, so that gender doesn't vary in a noun. This would be genitive singular. Of the soldier. Milites, nominative, plural. Also accusative would be like that. So when we just look at the bottom two, here would be a good candidate. The problem with that is there is no T here. So let's try another way. This segment. Maybe it's a stem mil. Ending is. Okay. Not too common in the nominative singular. Itis for genitive singular. Not really. Ites, nominative accusative plural. No, it doesn't accord well with our experience of other nouns. So for that reason, that's not satisfactory. As far as the strings of letters, it works, but you get these odd non-suffix shapes. So how about mille and mili with some sort of vowel grade, maybe a vowel weakening or something? S, okay, that's the quintessential nominative singular ending. Tis, though, and tis, these are not suffix shapes. So with that in mind, where would you take it from there? What's the best analysis of these noun forms? What we're looking for is a single underlying form for the stem that unites all of these, maybe with some adjustments here and there. Mercatores, nominative. You could say sellers, salesmen, merchants. That's a good one. Yeah, related also. Merc. This is related to the divine name Mercury, god of commerce. Commerce has that root. Vendunt, the verb they sell. So to vend, we've even taken over as a verb itself, but also in vendor, vending machine. Sell olivas, olives.
Poeta Carmen non vendit.
So poeta is a masculine noun singular, subject the poet. Carmen has no suffix on it, it's a neuter noun. Milit and a deletion occurs. Excellent. If we do that, is and s, these are well-established endings. And here we just really have to posit that there's an intermediate form, something like this. Here's my view. Best way to account for the difference in the vowels, gets a little too spaced out that way, is that you have a basic form, millet. Interesting. Militis comes from milletes. Let's say milletis, whatever. Not as interested in this vowel. This one doesn't show up as eh in Latin, but it does in other branches of Indo-European. But this kind of a change is very well, many parallels for it in Latin. This one would be milletes. Well, originally long, no, tes. And so in a middle syllable, the eh raised. You never find that anymore in Latin words, including in compounds too. That linking vowel generally raises to I. So this would be my underlying form. Here there's no change in the vowel, but you get deletion of a T before an S. Natural enough. They're made in the same place. You never see the sequence TS in Latin words. That one is forbidden. And here you don't get any difficult consonant sequences because the suffixes begin with vowels. Isn't that nice? Greek is Greek noun inflection is full of this type of thing. Poeta Carmen, singular, a poem. Non vendit, does not sell. Yeah, poem.
Mercator picturam vendit.
Merchant, nominative singular. Picturam, vendit, sells a picture.
Mercator multas picturas emit.
Mercant. Multas picturas emit, he buys many paintings, pictures. Just like the capital lowercase thing we were talking about. Before photographs came along, picture meant painting. It still does, but it means other things as well. We would never call a photo a painting, but we could call either one a picture.
Poeta carmina facit.
The root pig with the alternate form ping in some derivatives and inflected forms. Poeta carmina facit. The poet. Facit makes. Carmina poems.
Milites bene pugnatis.
Vocative, O you soldiers. And an indicative, you fight well. Let's revisit Welsh, I think. See a different kind of word order. Give us a broader basis to look at Irish too. Really, all the Welsh sentences that we've been taught up down to this point in the course have involved just two verb forms, two actual inflected verbs, do and dich. So most of that is still ahead of us, and then all the other stuff have been, right? The lexical verbs have been in participles, infinitives, non-finite verbal forms.
Dych chi'n hoffi Caerfyrddin? Dych.
I believe that the very first word in the sentence there, and the
Hoffi.
clause is going to be the inflected verb. Do you like Caerfyrddin?
Caerfyrddin.
Carmarthen. So this spelling preserves an older form of the name with an unmutated M, or it just doesn't show the mutation. Single F is a V sound that's mutated M, just like Irish. So
Caerfyrddin.
Then, do you like Carmarthen? You could also call them both, photo and painting, a portrait, so long as they're of a person, true enough, or even an animal. Portrait of my cat. I think you could have a portrait of my houseplant, though. Sounds weird.
Dwi'n mwynhau gweithio ger Aberaeron.
Dwi'n mwynhau gweithio ger Aberaeron.
Ger Aberaeron.
Mwynhau, enjoy. Gweithio, working. Near Aberaeron. Dych chi'n hoffi Caerfyrddin?
Dwi'n hoffi'r fenni.
Dwi'n hoffi'r fenni, definite article here.
Fenni.
Abergavenny. I like the Venny.
Fenni.
Gavenny. Gavenny. See if Wikipedia tells me how to pronounce it in English. Abergavenny. Abergavenny, rather, as an English word. In Welsh, Aveni. Mouth of the river Gavenny. Cool. That's the aber mouth of. So note that characteristic Celtic order, the head first, head noun, then genitive.
Dych chi'n mynd i'r siopau yn Aberaeron heddiw?
Okay, siopau, plural marked one. English shop. Dych chi'n mynd i'r siopau yn Aberaeron heddiw is are you going, mynd, into the, or to the shops in Aberaeron today, heddiw. Looks a lot like Latin, hodie. So could be maybe the same two components, but probably the dhu here is same as dies. Hello. So dios, so a different first part there. The Latin one would be as in he, hike, hoc, that pointing word. Aber eran. An O.
Y siopau.
The siopau.
Y siopau.
The shops.
Dwi'n mynd i'r siopau yn y fenni.
Dwi'n mynd i'r siopau yn y fenni. I'm going to the shops. Abergavenny.
Caerfyrddin.
Caerfyrddin. Carmel. Dwi'n mynd i'r siopau yn y fenni.
Y siopau. Dwi'n hoffi byw ger y fenni.
Dwi'n hoffi byw ger y fenni. I like should be living near Abergavenny.
Y fenni. Dych chi'n hoffi'r fenni?
Do you like the venny? Gavenny.
Dych chi'n byw ger Caerfyrddin?
Dych chi'n byw ger Caerfyrddin? Do you live near Carmarthen? Also with an unmutated vowel here, apparently. And the other two.
Caerfyrddin. Dych chi'n hoffi'r fenni?
Dych chi'n hoffi'r fenni? It's very instructive because those same sound changes are probably also happening across all classes of words, not just place names. Dych chi'n hoffi'r fenni? Like Abergavenny. My eyes are getting a little sleepy and it's already after midnight, so let's wrap it up. My favorite ender, strong conlang day today. Let's go to Esperanto is what I'm looking for. Dwi'n hoffi. I know it means I like. Dichin is, well, dichin is not do you like. Dichin is are you. Are you or do you? What are the pieces? That's a great question. How about Welsh? Do we have Welsh? Notepad started? No. Dwi'n. So it's dwi means I am. We see that in copula sentences. Incomplete on its own. Maybe you could have it with a caps, huh? I am such and such. And the second person form, dich, chi. You are. So I think it's verb pronoun. E from ego is a good match. Chi, I'm not sure how you get a K there in the European terms. And this ch at the end of the verb may be assimilated from the pronoun. Maybe the pronoun initial. The chi could be connected to Irish tu. It could be a tu derivative. Maybe it's the verb that had the initial ka or cha, and that has colored the pronoun here. Just don't know yet, because we haven't seen any other verbs except this, any other inflected verbs except this. Maybe the morpheme boundary is here, that or something, a zero ending on du, that closed syllable causing a vowel change. It could be any number of things at this stage. Just haven't seen. I suppose I could look it up in a book, but haven't gotten around to it yet. I do have several books on which I'm proud to report, and you'll be pleased to know.
Tiu ci estas ecz pli larĝa.
Question marking chi, but tiu chi together meaning this. Estas is ecz pli larĝa. Ecz. Even. Where does that come from? Alright, since I can't copy that one, do we have? We do. I bet I could type equals, yeah. Equal sign after C to get the modified one. Okay, H system, ECH, X system, ECX. To make it typable. Oh, perhaps from etiam, Latin, or Polish, jeszcze. Jeszcze. Ech meaning even. Etiam, I like that. Two possible etyma. Latin, Polish. Even more large, even larger. Oof. Chef, I don't remember this at all. Quiristo, I would guess.
Usono havas nek reĝon, nek reĝinon.
Oh, neck and neck is nice because it sounds like neck and neck, but also neque in Latin, the double neque. And not and not. This usono means the US has neither a king, region, very Indo-European looking, nec reginon, nor a queen.
Estas multaj grandaj urboj en Ĉinio.
Estas multaj grandaj urboj en Ĉinio. I think spelled like this.
Estas multaj grandaj urboj en Ĉinio.
There are many large cities in China.
Momenton, mi tuj venos.
Mi tui venos. I'm coming, is that with you? I will come right away. One moment. I'll come right away.
Ŝia monujo estas preskaŭ malplena. Ŝia monujo estas preskaŭ malplena.
Her something is almost empty.
Ŝia monujo estas preskaŭ malplena.
Estas preskaŭ malplena. Is it avino? Mia avino, female grandparent, spoke Chinese. What's speak? Parolas. Paroli. So past tense. Parolis la Chinian. Perfecte.
Ŝi mem konstruis tiun domon. Ŝi mem konstruis tiun domon.
Konstruis
Ŝi mem konstruis tiun domon.
tiun domon, that house. She something built that house. Will we remember tomorrow? Ni. The verb is used to do the extension that feels natural, but I don't know another language that does that. Does what? And or am just missing an obvious one because I'm tired. But what do you mean that a language that does? Are you talking about the Welsh? The verb is used to do the existential. Talking about Esperanto or Welsh there? Will we remember? Let's remember. Memoros. Oh yeah, to signal a yes/no question. Ĉu ni memoros? Morgaŭ. Tomorrow. In that village. En tiu vilaĝo. Many houses have a garden. Multaj domoj havas ĝardenon. Okay. Estas. Be and is used as the existential. There is a skipped I. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Well, English does it, I suppose, but we use the there with it. Latin uses esse for those things. Est. Greek may as well. Not too sure. Modern Greek, I mean. I skipped I. But anyway, Latin would be the big one for that. Oh, Sanskrit too, probably. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a good night. Please give us a follow if you haven't yet.